Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Concord Township Board of Trustees meeting for August 7th, 2024. If you would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Mr. Patriarca.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present.
Mr. McIntosh.
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer.
Present. And we will now move into the approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the July 17th, 2024 regular trustees meeting minutes.
And I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the July 24th, 2024 special meeting minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving into the elected officials reports, and our fiscal officer, Mr. John Patriarca, will start us off.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. As of July 31st, 2024, we are 58% of the way through the calendar year. The treasury balance for the 21 active funds within the township treasury was $7.2 million. The treasury balance includes approximately $407,000 in funds set aside for specific projects. Year-to-date expenditures are currently at 53% of the amount appropriated for 2024, while the year-to-date revenue is at 72% of the annual budget, which includes the recent advance received by the township for the second half of property tax revenue. These figures continue to keep Concord Township within the design 2024 budget. The fiscal office has responded to a handful of resident emails and calls in regards to the fire levy that'll be on the ballot this coming November. Which is obviously necessary to remedy the current shortfall in the operations budget within the safety services. So I strongly encourage all residents to read up, get educated on the issue at hand. The township website, which is probably difficult for a lot of people to get to right now given the power outages, but there's an abundance of information on there. I will hopefully Administrator Rose can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's in the news and updates tab on the front page of the website. So a lot of really good, useful data and information there. So I strongly encourage all the residents to read up and get informed on the safety services issue. And lastly, my family's excited for the Concord Community Day event this Saturday. I know that our service department, our rec department, has been working their tails off to get things ready. Pancake days, parade festivities, Jungle Terry, fireworks, all the good stuff. So we're excited for that. And with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarca. Moving into the trustees report and starting us off this evening is Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am sure the popular question of the day is, do you have power? A lot of our residents were affected by the storms last evening and were without power. Some are still. We do appreciate the work of our service department and our fire crew to handle those emergencies. And it reminds me of the fact that we need to make sure we have reserved funds for handling emergencies and that we are able to send these great teams to go and help out. So thank you very much. It's amazing how much the destruction took place in about 5-10 minutes. So hopefully everybody's on the mend. We did have a staff meeting Monday where we discussed some pertinent issues in the township, like some road work, some zoning updates, and recreation updates. As far as community engagement, I did speak with a developer regarding the Canterwood development and some minor changes. I had a resident question about the commercial development along Hunting Lake and the popular, when is the ice cream and car wash going to be ready? I took a few questions also regarding the fire levy from some residents, and I appreciate you mentioning the website with all the information, the tax class, and we are happy to answer questions at any time. Last weekend, I did attend the Ohio Township Association board meeting where we discussed pending legislation, other priorities. We did have our annual golf outing where we raise money for the scholarships for seniors. We usually give out about 4 or 5 scholarships to seniors for college and for other money for like the
Scholarship.
Yeah, not just going to college, but if you're going to a trade school.
Oh, trade
Thank
school,
you.
okay.
Thank you. I also got to participate in handing out some 4-H communication awards to the young men and women who made it to the state finals. I think it's a privilege to sit on the board. You know, we get to, not only do I get to represent Concord Township and Lake County, but it's great being with other townships and be able to talk about the issues that affect us all. And OTA strongly supports township way of life. Last, I am also looking forward to our big community day on Saturday with the pancake breakfast, with the parade, the events, the bands, raffles, and of course the fireworks. We also get to recognize our Citizen of the Year, so I hope to see everybody there. And I want to thank the rec staff for all the work you've done this week, what you're going to do this weekend, for our law enforcement and fire for also being there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. McIntosh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Lucci, I would just like to say I'm continue to be proud of the fact that you are on the Ohio Township Board, and once again I get to say how quickly you got elected. I know you were nervous going up there, but I think when I looked at everybody, one of the most qualified people to be on that board. And I can say in our interactions, as you've talked about things and everything, there's not only value to Concord and Lake County Townships and you being there, but I'm sure you're bringing in your connections with other people. I know how you work, and so I think it's great work that you're doing. And definitely, even though it just sounds like one of those other things, it is important work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Since our last meeting, I did attend the coffee with the administrator that Mr. Rose started. Continues to be a really great interaction, so I want to thank him for doing that and having us there. It's good to talk to the community about what's going on. We get great questions. It would be wonderful if we had more people there. I continue to talk to people about the RID, the positive and the negative feedback. I did speak with a developer about the Quail Hollow, the Silver Lode report. One of the local developers had reached out to me and had some questions and some thoughts about work he's done. So I'm going to be meeting with him to get further insight to that. I've had some questions about property maintenance and what can township zoning do to better stay on top of that. So it's something I think we're going to look into. I did have an opportunity to tour the new ice cream shop and the car wash, and wow,
Impressive, right?
very impressive. It's something that we go there. It's a very nice. I mean, they have spared no expense putting that together. It's going to be beautiful. I'm sure they're going to be very happy with that. Last summer concert was last week. We got to go to that. Did want to say that the rec department has done a fantastic job. They always do, and they've been spending a lot of time getting ready for community days. They always do, and the rec staff definitely needs a shout out for all the hard work they do to put that in. And lastly, we did have a nature event last night that has thrown the township and most of Northeast Ohio into disarray. I want to thank the service department for getting out right away, start taking care of the roads. One of my neighbors had a tree hit their house, and I got to see Chief Sabo last night out on the call. So I want to thank the fire department for showing up and taking care of that and being around. We have a lot of people that are committed to taking care of this township. And lastly, I did have a lengthy meeting with an individual about our fire levy and township budget. And for a minute, I'd like to just discuss community service. I'm going to stay away from talking about this person, but let's just say that I've had a lot of conversations over the past and hasn't always been the most forthright supporter of things in the township. But we had one of the most constructive meetings I think I've had as a trustee in going on 5 years now. It was a very good, honest dialogue, and I felt there was a good meeting of the minds there. A conversation I enjoyed, and then with the events last night, when I think about the firefighters and the service department out there, the things that we do, staying aware of what's happening in our community. Everybody here was talking to residents that they knew. It just makes you think about just neighbors taking care of each other and what goes into keeping a community vibrant, and the dedication. And just, I think about the folks that work for local government, not just Concord, but across Lake County and the city of Mentor or wherever else, Willoughby, Painesville Township, and everybody that's dedicated to making sure that these roads stay open, people stay safe. And I think it's just one of those things that makes me think we should all be grateful for the people that care to serve their community and keep it a safe place.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, I'd like to also in regards to the storm that we sustained last night. Thank our first responders, Sheriff's Department, Fire Department. I know how it is out there doing what we can to help residents any way you can. It requires a lot of work, and I traveled throughout most of the county today, and there's some significant damage countywide. A lot of it seems to be on the west end of the county, but we did sustain some damage also. But it is unbelievable the amount of devastation in some of these communities, and roads that are still closed, power lines down, trying to check on residents. So thanks to the Fire Department, Sheriff's Department for the job that you do for our residents here in Concord Township. It's greatly appreciated. I know that we had over 500,000 residents without power initially. The First Energy's working very diligently to try to get people back online with their power. However, there's a lot of hazards that still need to be cleared. I'd like to thank our service department. I reached out to Mr. Brown today after we received a call from First Energy. They're bringing in over 300 utility trucks to try to mitigate some of the hazards and damages, and they asked if Concord Township could help out with some staging areas for the trucks that are coming in from out of state. So I appreciate Mr. Brown and Mr. McIntosh and Mrs. Lucci helping out with that endeavor on finding some locations that we could stage these apparatus to sort of help mitigate these hazards and get everybody back online with the power. So I would just urge everybody to be a little bit more patient. There's significant damage out there, but we plan on hopefully over the next several days getting people restored. So if you need anything, please reach out to us. We have had a lot of calls. I've also spoke with some people regarding the fire levy that will be up in the fall. So if you have any questions, I urge you to reach out and talk to one of us, or get on the website, look online to be informed. And hopefully it looks like nice weather this weekend. So community days, Saturday, we have a full day starting with our pancake breakfast at the fire department, I think at 8, Chief. And then a full day packed. Looks like nice weather, 78 and sunny. So please come out and join us. It'll be a great day. And with that, we will move into the department reports and start off with our administration department and our administrator, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer, members of the board, Mr. Patriarca, members of the audience, good evening. As usual, I'll start with a few items that are on the agenda. Item B is resolution 2024 TAC 24, which is the Citizen of the Year resolution. And then item C is a vote that authorizes me to take the waterline project for Girdled and Auburn Road out to bid. It's very exciting. And then item D is a vote for our RC3, which is the records disposal list. These are the documents that are to be destroyed during our upcoming shred event. Moving on to some other things, on July 23rd, 2024, I accepted on behalf of the trustees 2 resignation letters, one from part-time firefighter Seth Herendine and one from part-time firefighter Alex Kensinger. Alex's last day was July 21st. Seth's last day was July 18th. We thank Seth and Alex for their service to the township, and we wish them well in their future endeavors. And then just to touch back on item C on the agenda, we've touched on this and talked about this for a long time, but the waterline project is continuing to move forward. And we anticipate sending letters out to the affected residents next week. I got a draft of that letter today. I haven't had a chance to chew through it yet. Probably in the next day or so, and then early next week that letter will probably go out to all the residents in the waterline area, letting them know what's happening and what their options are. But I'm excited to get this project on the road. Next coffee with the administrator scheduled for Thursday, August 22nd at 9 a.m. That's at the community center. Just a reminder, our next trustee meeting will be held on September 4th, not August 21st. It will be on September 4th at 7:30 p.m. Prior to that, we have the Canterwood Villas of Canterwood RID public hearing at 7 o'clock. And then finally, I know everybody's touched on the power outage. Look, everybody's doing great work. Fire's out there, service is out there. The folks here in administration at Town Hall are getting hammered with phone calls, and we get it. We understand it, but we can't tell you when power is going to be restored. We can tell you what First Energy is telling us, which is that it's a multi-day event. But I was encouraged as I was coming back to Town Hall for the meeting. I followed a whole parade of trucks from Apex, which I think are out of Michigan, that were coming to stage at the old Quail Hollow Hotel parking lot. So they're coming in. So I'll just remind residents, please be patient. And there's going to be a lot of crews out there over the next couple days. Just please slow down and give them a wide berth. I mean, they're up in the buckets and working on those lines, and that's certainly not fun for them either. But they're doing good work. And I also like to thank Wendy, who's our First Energy Governmental Affairs rep. She's dealing with a lot of communities and a lot of personalities, and every time I've talked to her, she's always in a good mood.
Does great work.
She does great work, so I appreciate her as well. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Fire Department, Chief Sabo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So for the month of July, we had a total of 251 incidents, bringing our year to date till July 31st total run volume to 1,824. So we are above where we were last year. We had a total of 163 EMS events. These numbers are quite estimates because we don't have access to our databases, so it's my best guess. We had 88 non-EMS events, including 7 fires. We gave mutual aid 33 times and received mutual aid 11 times. And for our overlapping calls, this is the highest we've ever seen at 57%, and 143 calls were overlapping. And that doesn't include yesterday. So
I was going to say, okay.
That's just July. So yesterday, I just want to thank all the first responders, but specifically our A shift at Station 1 and Station 2. They handled a total of 31 calls for the 24-hour shift, and that also included 2 heart attacks that had to go to the cath lab at Geauga. So, and those aren't quick turnarounds. So they did a stellar job handling everything. Myself and Deputy Chief stayed on until about 8 o'clock last night to help answer calls and handle incidents and make sure that the residents were taken care of. Fire prevention had 82 inspections, accounting for about 100 hours. They did 5 plan reviews. I put a post on social media, a nice picture of our fire prevention bureau and our zoning department just working together. I was coming in late one day and saw them working in the conference room. I thought, man, what an opportunity, for a great photo opportunity to just show the collaboration between all the departments in Concord Township, not just ours and zoning, but all the departments included to kind of keep the wheels greased and keep things moving forward. We also had 1 fire investigation that happened in Concord. We had 1 Knox box installed and 3 returned. As far as education, we were happy to host an event for Sparks Adult Care Center. They came out and got to see the life and work of a firefighter, and I think it looked like they had a really good time. I know the firefighters had a great time working with the folks from Sparks and giving them a chance to wear the firefighter gear and try spraying hose out of a fire hose and stuff like that. So it worked out pretty good. Today we completed a 2-day class for firefighter peer support. As you've heard me discuss in the past, firefighter mental health is critical. Firefighter suicide is still the #1 leading cause of death in the fire service, and we got to fix that. And so with the help of the IAFF and the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, we were able to host this class. This class is being hosted throughout Ohio, but we were selected as the Northeast Ohio hub for this class. So we're happy to host that. There were instructors from Toronto and Northern California that came in to give the class. So it was well attended by firefighters from all over the state. So it was very worthwhile. There's still spots available for next week's babysitting class. So I may have to sit in on that, but to just as a refresher with my grandbaby coming, but we'll see. And just as just another plug for the pancake breakfast. We're looking forward to flipping pancakes on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock till about 10:30. So come hungry and enjoy a tour of the fire station and mosey around the fire station and check that out while you're there. And feel free, we urge everybody to take time and just visit with the firefighters and talk about what's important to you, or maybe learn about the life of a firefighter here in Concord Township. So with that, I thank you very much.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, moving on to service. Tim Brown, our service director.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The Service Department in the month of July has been performing crack sealing to our asphalt roadways and making Durapatch repairs throughout the township. The concrete slab replacement program continued in the South Meadow and Brightwood Lakes subdivisions. Crews also performed ditch maintenance and culvert replacements. During last night's storms, the Service Department responded to 10 downed trees blocking roadways. Our crews were dispatched at 5 p.m. from home, and by 9 p.m. all road obstructions were cleared. Crews were out first thing this morning cleaning up the debris within the road right-of-way and had all areas cleaned up by the end of today. I just want to say a big thank you to the Service Department crews. They did a great job handling the storm last night and getting the roads open safely and efficiently. The 2024 joint road resurfacing projects on Winchell Road is tentatively scheduled to begin the week of 8/12. There will be a road closure during this project for 3 culvert replacements prior to the resurfacing. Viewmont Drive is waiting to receive a reclamite treatment to bring that project to a close. The Red Barn next to the Fire Station 1 received new metal roof and siding using NOPEC funds. This will protect and preserve the barn for many years to come. A stormwater improvement project will begin the week of 8/19 on Grand Ridge Point. A new storm sewer outfall and erosion control is the scope of this project and will be installed. We remind residents that the yard waste will reopen September 3rd and run until December 6th. The hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. All yard waste must be in biodegradable paper bags. The annual brush day drop-off is scheduled for Saturdays, October 5th and 19th from 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The Service Department encourages the residents to contact us with questions or concerns at 440-350-3225 or by email at concordtwp.com under service. And we hope to see the residents out this weekend at the Community Day event. That concludes my report.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks to your staff. You guys did an outstanding job clearing up that roads and debris. Okay, moving on to our zoning department. Our zoning director, Heather Freeman.
Good evening.
Evening.
So during the month of July, the zoning department processed 35 zoning permit applications, bringing the year-to-date total to 252. The applications that were approved in July were 9 fences, 8 accessory buildings, 3 swimming pools, 3 new single-family dwellings, 4 decks, 3 new commercial signs, 3 change of use permits, and 2 residential additions. Additionally, staff was out in the community busy doing inspections and completed 117 property inspections with open zoning permits and issued 31 certificate of compliances. Staff also began 10 new investigations about potential zoning violations. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Thank you, Heather.
Rec department, Sean Supler, our recreation director.
Big week.
Big
for rec.
weekend for you,
Big
buddy.
week.
Yes, big weekend. We have Community Day coming up. So I'm really just going to talk about Community Day today.
Great.
I'm not going to
Sounds
really
good.
expand about much else. I know some of my counterparts will be upset about that, about the shortness of my presentation today, but I'll make sure to double it at the next meeting to make up for that.
A little bit.
So yeah, Community Day is Saturday. Just to schedule events that we have from 8 to 10:30, as everyone has heard, is the fire department pancake breakfast. It is a free event and is held at the new fire station. It's an open house as well, so come in and have pancakes with the firefighters and check out the new station. From 8:30 to 9:15, we have free yoga with lake yoga at the gazebo. Then the big event in the morning is the Concord Parade. Starts off at 11:15. I encourage everyone to look at the Concord TWP website when their power is back on and they have internet to check out the parade route and all the great areas to watch the parade. We are going to have some food trucks open as well from 11 to 1:30 for people who are watching the parade to grab some lunch, and also during our trustee event that will take place in the tent area from 12:30 to 1:30. Then the afternoon activities from 4 to 10 p.m. The main events that we have during there are food trucks, we have beer and wine sales, we have our craft vendors, and our Concord raffle basket. We have some great baskets that are being put together by Rachel Lamb. She's doing an outstanding job going to all the local businesses and compiling some great baskets that are going to be there for that drawing. So from 4 to 6:30 is going to be music by Disco Express. From 5 to 6:30 will be our famous frog jump event that'll take place in the grassy area by the gazebo. From 4 to 8 p.m. will be our Kids World. We'll have face painters, balloon twisters. Concord Alliance Church is doing their annual carnival games. We'll have inflatables, a DJ, doing some karaoke, a bunch of other fun events during that. From 4:30 to 5:30 is Animal and Reptile Show by the famous Jungle Terry. Right after that, from 5:30 to 6:30 is a bubble exhibition by Dr. You Are Awesome. He is like a world record holder in giant bubbles. So he will be here doing some bubble. He's pretty impressive.
He's impressive.
Yeah. From 7 to 10 p.m. will be music by Four Kings and a Queen. We will have during that time period, we'll have our raffle basket drawing that will take place around 9:15. So make sure you get all your raffle basket tickets into those bins before then. And then the grand finale will be our fireworks show, which is always very impressive. So we're looking forward to having that happen about 10 o'clock. We have partnered with Sub-Zero Mission, which if you bring a new pair of socks and bring it to their table, which will be in our vendor area, you will receive 5 free raffle tickets for the raffle basket contest. And just a couple other notes. I know a lot of people are still out of power. We had a couple people stop by today, but we encourage everyone, if they're still out of power tomorrow, to stop by the community center and charge up your devices. And if you're hot, can come get cooled off and all that kind of stuff. So please feel free to stop by the community center. And I just wanted to point out and thank you all for the item on the agenda about the rec staff pay increases, which is very well deserved for my staff. That's Rachel and Susie, especially, are very hardworking, especially after we lost Tracy last year. They really consumed a lot of extra work, so
Right.
I really appreciate that. And for our facility attendants as well, who we rely on very heavily to not have to work in all hours and the weekends here. So I do appreciate that very much. So with that, that concludes my report, and I hope to see everyone on Saturday. Thank you.
Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, next, our Lake County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Ropus is with us this evening. Welcome.
Thank you. During the month of July, we've had 392 calls for service in Concord Township. 171 of them were proactive traffic enforcement by our deputies, resulting in 9 arrests, including for OVI and drug possession charges. We also responded to 5 injury accidents, 8 property damage complaints, and we got a lot of complaints with suspicious vehicles on Tanglewood. every night. I know I'm on night shift. Our guys are doing their part in checking out to see what's going on in Tanglewood. On my shift personally, we haven't seen anything going on, but our deputies are checking it out when the complaints come in. This month was a heavy training month for our sheriff's deputies. We had a traffic stops refresher class for our deputies. We also participated in the countywide mass casualty incident, where a lot of our deputies are actually instructors there. So they put on training throughout the whole county on how to respond to a mass casualty type incident. We also had, at Parkside Elementary, we had our active shooter training this month on how our deputies can respond to an event that if it were to take place anywhere within the county, we would be equipped to respond to that. We are participating in the parade on Saturday with our SWAT vehicle, the mounted unit, and marked patrol units. We look forward to that. Mr. Rose and I spoke about the speed trailer being currently out of service. That's getting repaired here soon. And then a big scam going on in Concord right now is the Ohio Turnpike scam, where individuals with smart devices are getting a text message with a link for an invoice of unpaid tolls. We've gotten many complaints on it. It is not factual. We're encouraging residents not to click on the link. If anything does get sent to your smartphone, call the Lake County Sheriff's Office and we will walk you guys through on how to rectify that situation. All smartphone device users are, the brunt of our complaints were Concord Township. We don't know if it's because of geographically we're located near a highway or whatever it may be, but if you do come across it, give us a call. We'll walk you guys through it. And that is the end of our report.
Thank you. Stay
Thank you.
safe.
Thanks, Lieutenant Ropus.
Okay, moving on to our audience portion. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak this evening, you can come to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Chairman, trustees. My name is Tom Schick. I live at 6255 Barris Drive, and that's in the Kellogg Park Estates. Our development has 101 homes, and I'm the representative here as the president of the Homeowners Association.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'd like for you to imagine your neighborhood, your home. I'm sure you've got great neighbors, but maybe there's just one neighbor that you have some difficulty with. You see, this neighbor moved out of their home 10 years ago. It's not been lived in over 10 years. It's in disrepair. There are trees that have fallen down. There have been issues that have been addressed, thankfully, by the zoning department within their purview. There have been animals going in and out of the attic. One evening, a member of the sheriff's department had to come out and put down an animal, a raccoon. There's mold on the side of the house. A pipe broke this past winter, causing excessive amount of water to flow between the two neighbors' homes. I bring all this up to you because I'm encouraging you, and your comment earlier, sir, to consider enacting limited legislation regarding property maintenance standards. I'm talking to you about one, and actually there's two homes in our development, but I'm not talking about just our development. I have to believe, I don't know this, but I have to believe that there are other homes in disrepair throughout our township. And so I'm here tonight encouraging you to do what you can to look into this issue. My understanding that and what I'm bringing up to you tonight is not the first time that this has been raised in the township. It's been raised in the zoning committee. It's a part of their minutes from back in 2021. And so I know there are some limited things that the zoning department can do today, but that there is some opportunity to move forward and consider some legislation with regards to limited property maintenance. Those are my comments. I thank you. Please take them under advisement, and I look forward to whatever response might be coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate your comments. We are aware of the situation. We did get briefed on that specific residents, and we are going to have some further discussion on that, but we appreciate your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. It's always helpful when we can put a face to a phone call and to engage with folks. It helps us not just appear to be acting arbitrarily. So thank you for coming tonight and sharing.
One other comment, please.
Sure.
If you would, because of the microphone, sir, it catches on the video. Thank you.
I just want to emphasize, this is not just for our development.
Right.
Right.
I understand
Understand
that.
that, yeah.
And no one in our development would expect you all to pass legislation for our development. That's not what we're here, that's not what it's about. It's about the township and all the residents. I'm just here speaking on behalf of a development where this is an issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I think just to add, we are aware of what.
Right.
Yeah, there's stuff
Yeah.
across, and we've talked about it
Yep.
during our terms.
It's not an easy
Yeah.
thing to handle, but I agree with you that, definitely should be looked at, and I appreciate your service as an HOA president and you speaking on behalf of your neighbors and your fellow citizens in Concord, so thank you.
Yeah, and you are correct. There's more than, it's not just one specific isolated residence. We have some other properties that need to be addressed, but thank you. Okay, moving on to old business. Resolution 2024-12, creating the Villas of Canterwood Incentive District and declaring improvements to parcels within the district to be a public purpose and exempt from taxation is provided in section 5709.73 of the Ohio Revised Code and related authorizations. We will be having a public hearing that is scheduled for September 4th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall.
Yes, sir.
And moving into the new business for the evening, we have a few votes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the July financial report.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mr. Chair, I move to approve Resolution 2024-24, Mike Warner, Concord Township Citizen of the Year.
And I will second.
All in favor?
A big aye.
A big
Yes.
aye. Yeah,
He-
Mike.
He deserves it.
Yeah, Mike's done a lot. I mean, worked with him for many years in my career, not only when he was fire chief here in Concord, but he came aboard the sheriff's department, and he's been an exemplary public servant. He's done a lot for the community. He's involved in, a big part of the safety levy that funded the sheriff's department and fire department. He's always been an advocate for the township. His family's been here for a long time. He's just done an outstanding job, and he deserves that recognition.
He's just a very caring, very passionate person, and goes out of his way to help people, to educate, to just offer whatever assistance is needed. I enjoy talking to him. He's got a great personality. I was just so happy to see that he was nominated, and I thought, yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll go back to what I said earlier about service. I mean, we've got a lot of great examples in this community, but Mike Warner is definitely one of the biggest gentlemen with a big heart and really cares about people and just being out there doing the right thing and helping others. And couldn't think of anybody more deserving.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to provide permission to authorize the administrator to advertise for the Auburn Road and Girl Road waterline extension project.
And I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. I move to approve 2024 records disposal RC3 per our record retention policy.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then items voted on at the August 5th, 2024 staff meeting. Mr. McIntosh moved to approve the changes to recreation staff compensation. Mrs. Lucci seconded. The vote was 3 yeas. Well-deserved. Sean does an outstanding job. His staff does an outstanding job, and they need to be compensated
Yeah,
for that.
they're-
They're very...
Two of them working for one that left.
Yeah.
So-
Down right, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the hard work they do for everything,
Right.
not just Community Day, but
Right.
the concerts.
After hours.
the time they put in, the passion they have for this job, it goes unnoticed, and well, we notice it, but
Yeah.
people in the community don't realize the blood and sweat they put into
Yeah.
this work.
And the attendance that, you know,
Oh.
give her their time here for
Yep.
all the events.
Right.
It really makes things run well, so well deserved, thanks. Okay, and moving on to future meetings and announcements, Mr. Patriarca, please.
On August 14th at 7 p.m., there'll be a BZA meeting at Town Hall. And August 26th at 3 p.m., there'll be a staff meeting at Town Hall. September 2nd, Town Hall will be closed to observe Labor Day. September 3rd at 7 p.m., there will be a zoning commission meeting here at Town Hall. September 4th from 6:30 to 7 p.m., trustee office hours in the conference room, followed by at 7 p.m. public hearing for the writ of Cancerwood here at Town Hall. And then we will conclude September 4th, 7:30 p.m. with the trustee meeting at Town Hall.
Thank you, John. And that concludes our trustee meeting for this evening. Good night, Concord Township. Stay safe.